All right, that's what I wanted. Right here. All right. Okay, see. I just wanted to run this back. So here's the deal. I have a problem. The problem is I don't have a stand for my DJ equipment at this point. This is roughly 2017. So I'm kind of a stickler about my budget. There's certain things I just don't like to spend money on, and that was one of them things that I was in the need of, getting some practice in because I hadn't DJed in a while. And you start, you're putting everything together, and that was just the one thing I didn't have as a DJ stand. So I was at work one day and I seen some scrap material, and it hit me. And when it hit me, yeah, hey, that's when I'm obedient. So it hit me, and I was like, okay, all right. The need was already there, but it wasn't like I had went into that day, like thinking I was gonna build me a DJ stand. You know what I mean? I just happened to see some scrap material, and what it was a am I still recording? Yeah, okay. So what it was it was the shell or the covering of some sort of an AC unit or some sort of it was a cabinet for some sort of machine. So it was like a plate steel. It's like probably like a 1/16 of an inch, which is kind of, like real thick, like real thick, real thick sheet metal, if you wanted to classify it or something. So you can't bend it or anything, but it was like very, very, very thin. So it was made out of that, and then there was a long piece. What really gave me the inspiration was a long piece of steel, probably about this big, and it was very flat and very rectangular, and that's what set me off. So I seen that, and I was like, bam. I don't know at what point I started thinking DJ stand, but I knew that was going to be source material for something. So, like I said, this was scrap. This is stuff that they were throwing away. You see, in industrial maintenance, they don't like to hold on, depending on the organization, they don't like to hold on to things because they can get in the way. They can impede the process of repair and space requirements and everything. So a lot of times, they'll spend that extra money to have a fresh supply. So if you have bits and pieces left over after jobs, they throw it away. So, and a lot of that stuff is gold. But this particular piece was being thrown away, and it was a little piece of gold in my eyes. So I was like, bam. So that's what got me on the journey. So what it was I just so happened to be working at a place where there wasn't a lot of activity. So when there's not a lot of activity, depending on the place and the need, sometimes they'll expect you to do like preventive maintenance on things, but some places, sometimes it's not even possible. You have to get into sync with the production schedule to kind of like make sure that you're not working against profit margin. So you don't ever want to be doing repairs when the machine is scheduled to be running. So, it's all about managing, the repair of the asset actually. So, with that being said, like this particular employer, they didn't have a strong need for daily repairs or maintenance. So I was more so just an insurance policy, like, hey, while you're here, if something breaks, just handle it as quick as you can, please. You know what I mean? We just need you to do that. You know what I mean? So there wasn't no other real requirements from this job. So I could either sit there, twiddle my thumbs, or be on the internet all night, or I could do something. So this particular night I didn't have a lot, and I seen that piece of inspiration. So I boom, and it hit me about the DJ stand, and I started figuring out ways. And the first thing I had to conquer was the load requirement, because the laptop itself is gonna weigh 4 to 6 pounds, and so it has to support that. But at the same time, I'm working with a very thin piece of I knew that was going to be the base of the structure. So I immediately started thinking about the weakest link in the design, or it was possibly the weakest link in the design. And that's what guided me to the next step in discovery, because you have to go through the full round of discovery before you start putting your pieces together and your plan and start acting. It's very important, because I'll get into that later. But so knowing where my weakest link was is what took me to the thought process of finding another piece of the puzzle that would compensate for that. So I found another piece, bam, and this is the magic. This is where the magic happens for me. And I know I am one of God's children, just like you guys. So I feel like if I expose you to this process, it'll happen for you the same way it happens for me. And it's a beautiful thing, man. I wish, man, it's one of them things you just want to share. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, it's what gives me my edge. It's what gives me it's my shine. I mean, when I go out here in the world and in the markets, I basically just need a stage. Because of my nature, I'm kind of humble. I always stay kind of humble, but my head probably in the way. But yeah, right there. So I'm just breaking up some of these patterns and everything, but also completing the walk of where it is I'm supposed to be, and that's a real big tangent, because I'm getting back to the actual problem that I was solving here, that I'm leading into with this video. So look at that. So basically, when I found that extra piece, now with those 3 pieces, I could go to work. But there was still some more fill out and discovery. I knew there was going to be another step. I was going to have to get some more, but I felt like I had enough to paint a really good canvas and to really get a good structure for my vision. And the vision wasn't even complete at the time, and that's another thing. Sometimes you gotta learn to let the vision develop. You know what I mean? But you have to place it, man. You have to place it in the type of container that will allow you to cycle in and out to His presence. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you will get out of the flow. And this is all about being in the flow. So I'm gonna grab me some water. Hold on.